Doghouse Podcast is back. Got a special new guest, Izac from the Fun Football Podcast. We met actually off of Sports Podcasters Instagram. How are we doing today, Izac?
Awesome, man. I'm excited to talk some NFL free agency and some Georgia players. I think the Packers could use a couple of them. But
There you
I'm
go.
excited to be on here, man. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Really appreciate you coming on. I know we were messaging back and forth on Instagram. That's why, hey, any way you can collaborate out there, this is the way to do it.
Absolutely.
But we're going to talk a little, of course, we're going to talk about NFL because Izac is an expert in that or definitely knows a whole lot more than me. But since this is Georgia related, we're going to talk about the potential and where they might land in the upcoming draft. And is the draft again? Is it what, 25th through the 29th, or what is that again?
24th, actually. It's 2 weeks from
Okay.
tomorrow. Yeah, it's the
Wow.
24th,
Yes,
25th, and 26th. The first round is on the Thursday night.
right.
That's day one. Day two is the second and third round on the Friday night on the 25th. And then rounds 4 through 7 are on the 26th. It's kind of fun. You got me because it's in Green Bay. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
There it is, man.
yeah. I wish I
Home
was
turf
going,
there.
but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man. Can't wait. Always, it looks like it's this really fun event. It's got a lot of followings.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
So I pulled this up right here. So being Georgia related, we'll talk a little bit about it. I'm hoping in the first 3 rounds, hopefully this is updated.
There we
So
go. There we go.
Malachi Williams, Jalen Walker, Malachi Starks. To me, hopefully all 3. I think that'll be really good. It's going to be hard not to repeat the 2021 where he had 5 and we had 15. I think that was a record, made the whole draft. So I'm just hoping recruiting wise, because it all goes back to recruiting. But Malachi Williams, in your opinion, does this look like the order that they'll probably get drafted in from your research, Izac?
Yeah, I think so too. Actually, there's some sleepers I like. I'll hit in a minute. Like I'm a big Nazir Stackhouse guy. I know you know who that is.
Oh yeah,
I think he's gonna be awesome. But I think Jalen Walker. It's funny, I don't see linebackers a big need for my team, but I think he's gonna
right.
absolutely be a first rounder. I do think Michael Williams is gonna go off the board first. I'm gonna be surprised. The latest I see him going is like in the range of the Packers to 23. Look at that rating, man. 87.7. This kid, it looks like an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Pretty good speed at 4.77. The latest I see him going is 23 to 24.
Okay.
The only wild card for me, I'm curious what your thoughts are too, but Malachi Starks, does he go third out of those guys? Because in some mock drafts I've been seeing and some I've done, because I've done about, I don't know, like 50-ish. Uh
Yeah.
he's gone first in a few of them actually. A couple
Right.
times Jalen Walker went of those 3 guys, not first
Yeah.
overall, but Malachi Starks and a couple of mine went in the top 10. You think there's a chance he goes first out of those 3 guys?
All right. So from a Georgia fan, I follow it closely. Malachi Williams, when he's in there and not injured, that's my only knock. I always go back to this because he was out a lot the last couple of years, and this year was like was it ankle, and he was hurt a lot. But when he's in there, he is really good, like everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to me, the most like athletic and can twist his body around and cover. And this past year, to me, Malachi Starks had a little bit of step back because the defense was not as good as they asked him to do a
Sure.
whole lot more. But if they had him safety and he has his like zones or whatever, he can be a problem. And I don't want to throw it around, but I can see him being on the defense side of the ball like Champ Bailey-esque, that good.
Yeah,
Like
I
he
could.
came out in that Oregon game, his true freshman, he made this crazy pick, and everybody's like, "Oh, here we go. This kid's going to be good." Great as a freshman, sophomore, a little bit of step back because I think they were like putting a lot on him. But if he can maybe only keep him as a safety, answer question out of those 3, I think he has like underrated upside.
And the big
Jalen
thing is,
Walker wreaked
yeah,
havoc on Texas in the couple of games. He had 3 sacks in that one, took it over. Sometimes he would kind of disappear, to be brutally honest, but he's got a little upside, good kid. But those are definitely 3 solid. But I think the one that's like under the radar, back to it, Starks, has the most upside to me, in my opinion, from being a Georgia fan.
me too. The track speed and the way he tackles violently, like
Yes.
that's not something you hear for a safety. And like you said, if he can play corner, but the
Yeah.
football instincts, dude, the guy had 77 tackles and 4 tackles for a loss last year.
Yeah.
That's rare stuff to get out of a
Yeah.
safety.
Yeah.
That really
He'd go up there
is.
and stop the run. He was good at stopping the run. I know these are big backs in the NFL, but he'd go in there and stick his head in there.
And I mean, he was good as a freshman too. 10.55, 100.
Yeah.
I'm seeing 4.5 speed. I'm thinking it's more 4.4. One of these, like if you click on his bio, it's got him at a 4.35. That's
Yeah.
pretty freaking athletic, dude.
It
I
is.
I think I agree with you. I think Malachi Starks has the most upside. I'm curious what's going to happen with Michael Williams. I
Yeah.
really love Jalen Walker. I think he's just a solid linebacker.
He is.
I'm going to be absolutely shocked if all 3 of them are first round picks.
Yeah, that'll be great for the program. And looking a little bit down on like the linemen, so Georgia fans are salty because coming into this year, it was like Joe Moorhead Award, O lineman award, and everything, and they took a step back. Like our rushing game was like north of 100, which is terrible. We were like 87th in total offense, complete step back. So Tate
Yeah.
Ratledge, Jared Wilson, Dylan Fairchild all took a step back, and we were like, do we need to get rid of the O-line coach? But to me, Tate Ratledge can be a mauler. He's got the mullet. He was always good when he's in there, but he had the foot injury the year before, and it took him it was the what's the one? Lens Frank. Is that what it was? Injury the year before. It took him like a good year, and I always wonder if he really got over it. And then he had a sprained knee this past year. No, he had the tightrope surgery. As you know, that's hit or miss. So he's always been banged up, but when he's in there, he could be a legit starter. That's Tate Ratledge. Jared Wilson, he was kind of hit or miss. Dylan Fairchild, I always really liked because he was an All-American like heavyweight wrestler coming in. As you know, wrestlers like strong hands, really athletic. He could be, second round, third round guy. Another athletic linebacker looking at Georgia, Smile Mundian was really good. Like that prototypical, like modern day, move around side to side. I don't want to try to compare him to like Roquan Smith or whatever, but kind of on that level, almost like N'Kobe Dean for the Eagles. Really athletic.
That's a good comp. I like that.
Yeah. And another sneaky one that probably can make some money when he's good is really good is Tyron Egram Dawkins as a D lineman is really good and had a lot of moments at Georgia. He was kind of banged up a little bit, but he's in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with the one that all Georgia fans were a little salty about, and I'm telling you, he should be picked up at least restricted free agent or whatever. Dirty Dan Jackson didn't get an invite to the combine, but ran like a 4.4. Looked great during the pro day. I want to go there. White dude, by the way, but anyway, great tackler, and he had 4 tackles and a pick in that Texas game and took over. And even Shannon Sharp goes, 17 is going to play on Sundays. He'll stick your head in there because he would lay you out. No one will come across the middle. Anyway, I just hope he gets picked up somewhere, unrestricted free agent. But, dude, he's going to play on Sundays. He needs to be on a practice squad. But Dirty Dan Jackson, that kid's good. But he's not even on here.
Yeah, it's funny that he didn't even get invited. But there's going to be some guys, like some of the players I had on my show recently, that I hope and get drafted. There's going to be some guys that are going to make impacts later on. I like your Tate Ratledge thing, man. I feel like when he was in, your offensive line was better because he missed those 4 games, like you said. And he looks like he could be an NFL guard to me. I'd see second, maybe early third round. So day 2, I think he's a day 2 draft pick. So he's going to be a round 2 or round 3 guy. I think you nailed it with him. What are your thoughts on Jared Wilson and Dylan Fairchild? Do you see starting potential, or you think they're depth players? What are you thinking?
Yeah, to me, like it's kind of still sensitive and stings a little bit just because they were just such a drop off this year. But to me, Dylan Fairchild, with him being this wrestler and always like a workman type, he was one always coming with a lunch pail, I believe, and everything. Good dude. He I think he has more upside than Jared Wilson. Jared Wilson, being a center, he might. Injuries happen in the NFL all the time. He'll probably be in there, but I'm more excited about Dylan Fairchild. Another one is a wild card. It could be good, and man, I wish he would have came back this year. Only came there is Trevor Etienne.
Yeah.
Shifty guy, can catch it out of the backfield. I think he'll be a good pickup. I don't know about a starter, but he'll be, in that running back rotation. in the league. But man, I wish he would have came back because we only got him for a year and he was banged up, with those rib injuries at the very end. He missed 3 or 4 games.
If he can, I don't know if it depends if he can handle enough of the workload, but he's got the size, or
He does. He's
he
good.
does have the size. He's got the speed. Can he break tackles? And can he hit that extra gear that you need as a running back? The other guy.
The other thing that was crazy is I think he only fumbled once in all college, and of course that was pivotal in I think he in the Notre Dame game he fumbled, but like once, like really sure-handed. So that's another thing is like when he's not going to have fumbleitis or anything. Hopefully not.
This is a deep running back class. If he comes out of this running back class, I'm going to be impressed because the receiver class is a little lacking, but the running back class is pretty deep. There's a lot of good players here. So if he's a 4th round pick in this class, it's actually pretty strong in the last few years. The other guy I like for y'all is I'm going to butcher his first name, and I'm sorry. Smail Munden, Jr.
Yes.
My dad has been. We do a lot of mock drafts together, and he likes this kid.
Yeah, he's good.
The burst, I was watching tape on him. The burst and speed was impressive. I know it only says 4.58 40, but
he's like football fast, side to side, fast. Can make athletic.
40 only it matters. Like I don't want a running back with a 4.7 or 4.8 because unfortunately they might be good short yardage, but they're probably just not going to be able to be like a 3-down back in the NFL. But quickness matters at linebacker, and I need guys that can tackle. And that's what I saw with him. What are his strengths that you saw watching Georgia?
Yeah, definitely smart team player, good kid, never got in trouble, which is always a thing. But he's just a good like side to side guy, Smile Munden, and athletic. He could.
Do you see him as a starter?
He was. That was actually he was another one that was kind of hurt too. They kept having these ankle and like all these they were banged up a lot last year. That was another thing. But he missed some games, and you could definitely tell. And they had to play when he wasn't in there, and they had to play with some young guys, some like true freshmen, which is good for them in the long run. But you could I think he might have missed like 4 games last year. I could be wrong, but yeah, he was really good. And I think he stayed to the very end and almost like exhausted his eligibility, so kind of had to go.
He's a little smaller. He's only 225, so people are worried about his size.
Yeah,
and he's been hurt 3 college years in a row and high school.
That's right.
So I think that dropped his stock a little bit.
That's right.
Because I think he could have been a 2nd or 3rd rounder. It looks like he's tracking around 4th round right now.
Yeah. I'm going to go with another upside guy, if he can just catch it, is the guy I got on here, Arian Smith. First off, Blazer, 4.36. He can get behind guys, but he's had a lot of drops. He was actually the leading receiver, but, dude, he had some wide open drops. That was always his Achilles. But he could be special teams guy. But if you can sneak him back there on some routes, dude, and catch it, dude. Like, I don't know if you remember the Ohio State game where we won in overtime. Yeah, we were dead to right, man. And he had this long touchdown wide open and caught it. It was like 70 yards. It gave us life, and we came back and won that. That, to me, I'll always love that kid for that touchdown in the Ohio State game. But 4.36, not the smoothest routes, but you could use him as a decoy, some reverses, jet sweeps. Got wheels, man. You know when he's in there. Or punt returner. Just he might get some drops every now and then. As you know, Georgia had 38 drops and led the NFL. I think they might have been 2nd or worst in all of college football, but, man, they could not catch the ball this past year.
He was a leadoff runner on their school's record-setting 4x100 relay. That went 39.02. This guy.
It's like vertical speed too, man. He'll leave you. He's fast.
Flying. The thing is with receiver, that could be enough just to get you drafted. Just being lightning quick. I'm surprised he wasn't 4.2, but 4.36 is still blazing speed, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
He's one of those, if you got a 1st or 2nd receiver and you like do like a fly pattern with him, he's open with these quarterbacks. Or, dude, send him to the Chiefs with Mahomes. He'll get it to him like the Worthy kid. He kind of reminds me of him. Late round, like a Worthy type, like Blazer speed, if you can get it to him. Anyway.
Reminds me of Valdez-Scantling for the Packers, and he's with the Chiefs, just flies down the field. Or like I think not Isaiah Bond, the other one. Gosh dang it, Matthew Golden. But he's even his 40 was 4.29. I think he's going to be. He looks pretty good, actually. I'm pretty excited about him. I got another one for you on Georgia players, really quick, and then we can do a little free agency. But
sure,
Nazir Stackhouse. What do you think on him? I keep taking him in the 6th or 7th round. in almost every mock. My buddy Med, who lives in South Carolina. He does the show with me. He would love this, by the way. I'm gonna send him this. He's gonna be like, "You're talking college?" He loves it.
There you go.
But do you think Stackhouse could be a late gem for teams? Fifth, sixth, seventh round. Do you see him having that potential in the NFL?
Yeah, definitely. I see him maybe even earlier. I think he's got a lot of upside with that sixth or seventh round. Hey, good run stopper, athletic. I remember he had this pick against Missouri. I mean, we were in a dogfight with him, and he just tipped pass and returned it, almost took it to the house. So, yeah, very athletic upside. I like him. He's like, it's just so hard. Like, he was in that rotation with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. And it's crazy that Jalen Carter was in a rotation as a backup for Georgia.
Yeah.
And this goes back to, I know everybody's all over NIL, but we were stocking classes. And Jordan Davis, both of those guys were the Eagles. That's why they whipped Kansas City's ass on the O-line. Is that D-line was in Patrick Mahomes' face because of those guys. He's not that elite, but he's in that pedigree. He can be good. To answer your question, I think upside.
It sounds like his strength is run defense, not pass rushing.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, there's still a lot of teams that need that. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons could use that. They need a pass rusher, but they could use that space. My team needs a space heater in the middle at defensive tackle. We lost TJ Slayton. We struggled against the run for years. We finally were a little better last year, but we could use another guy like a Nazir Stackhouse.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Hey, anybody drafting dogs out there, I'm with you, man. I'll follow them. Philly dogs, it worked. The recipe.
So after the draft, I'll be on hiatus, but in August, if the Packers draft any Georgia kids, or if they bust out next season, I'm going to be calling you. I'm going to message him and be like, "Hey, man, this guy, you're right, dude. This guy's pretty darn good."
Yeah, man.
I'm hoping that pans out. I like your Arian Smith flyer. My dad loves these fast receivers. I got a question for you.
Sure.
I know we've done just Georgia guys, but this is a lot of fun, man. What about Dominic Lovett? Because I that's a name I've heard a little, but you know way more about him than I do. Do you see him? Pretty fast guy, a little slower than Arian Smith, but still 4.4 speed. That's pretty darn quick. Where do you see him at?
Yeah, definitely. I could see late rounds. So we were excited when he got him. We got him 2 years, I believe. He was a transfer from Missouri, leading receiver over 800 yards, which that's pretty solid in the SEC. But it seems like when he got there, I don't know if like we were spreading the ball around too much, but he's definitely that like kind of underneath possession receiver. And I think he could definitely be successful in the NFL. I don't know. Kind of remind me maybe some of those like second or third string for the Giants. Some of those guys kind of reminds me in that realm or whatever. But yeah, late round guy, definitely not day one guy, but late round kind of pickup, maybe be a backup. You can kind of sneak in that sure-handed, but get you that kind of 5 to 10 yard out, first down across the middle, but not anything deep, but underneath guy for sure. I think.
And he also I like when guys can run routes effectively because I'm seeing consistent separation. That's one thing. Like I like Jaden Higgins, but I'm a little worried about his separation ability. That's something that's important that my Packers need at receiver. They need someone that's an exceptional route runner that can get open. So that's a skill that's going to service him well. It's
so transition. Speaking of your Packers, because I know it seems like you're diehard. What's been the all I don't know if it's a curse or the thing with not you guys taking like number one receivers, or what's the deal? What do you think it is? Is that a GM thing or?
Oh, I think it's an organizational practice. They're like, hey, we're gonna put all the pressure on our quarterbacks, and we're gonna be cheap at receiver, and they just kind of rest on their laurels. They don't have an owner. I actually own a share. They are publicly owned, so they don't have an owner pushing the bill, trying to pressure the team to make a move, kind of like the Eagles do. Even the Cowboys occasionally take a swing and trade for a player. Not recently, but I mean, they've done it. They got Amari Cooper. They've made trades. The problem with the Packers is we are cheap at receiver, and we continue to do this, and it's just hurting the team at this point because they can draft and develop pretty solid. They've drafted Devontae Adams, they drafted Jordy Nelson, they drafted Donald Driver. So they've had some darn good receivers, but there's been too many that we've passed up over the last few years that have kind of that have been exceptional with other teams, and we just passed them up. Like Justin Jefferson was available when we were up back in the
Heath.
'90s. Randy Moss was. I can't see you, by the way. I don't know if you. I think you. I don't know if you meant to hide yourself, but
Are you good? We're putting you on the screen. Put you
oh,
solo
you
thing.
put
That's the
me
way I do it.
solo. You
Yeah,
put it perfect. Oh,
these are
that's
usually good
cool.
for like shorts. You know, you ask a
Oh, I
question,
like
pop
it.
to
I
you.
like
There
it.
you go.
I
Yeah.
like it. Oh, that's smart. I'm gonna start doing that. Okay, so the Packers they needed to do something in free agency, but there wasn't a lot of players out there. Devontae Adams was the one I kind of liked. Even though he's aging, he's aging like fine wine. I wish we'd gone after him, but we just don't do that. They are scouting some first round receivers. I think they went and saw Ted McMillan play. They're going to have to trade up for him probably though. Emeka Egbuka, I'm a little concerned about his injury history after having Christian Watson. We don't need another injury prone receiver, but I do like Egbuka. I think he's got number one potential as his ceiling if he can stay healthy. But it seems to be an organizational practice. They just continue to do this where they don't draft receivers, and it's stubborn now. I was 14 the last time they did it. It was 02. This will be 23 years. And it's not just a receiver. They haven't drafted a running back. They haven't drafted a tight end in the first round. No skill position talent in literally over 20 years now. It's crazy. Offensive tackles will do. Quarterbacks will draft in the first round, but no skill position talent, and it's kind of starting to show. Our team was honestly in that Philly game, our defense held its own. We had a running game. We didn't have a passing game to speak of or a pass rush, and it killed us. So, yeah, I mean, I know you know that when you've got a major weakness on your team, just like Georgia, you got to address it.
Yeah.
We got to hit pass rush, and we've got to hit receiver in this draft, or we're not going anywhere this year.
All right. So what's your pick, Isaac, in the first round?
23. And if Matthew Golden's there, I like it, but I honestly think there's even a solid chance he goes before Tet now. I really do.
From what your research, I know it's still early. You're on the war room. You got the pen, as they say. You're making the pick. Who would you pick for the Packers at 23 right now?
If he's available, I take Golden. If he's not, I actually like Luther Burden more than Egbuka just by a hair.
That kid's a stud. By us being a Georgia fan, he was hard to cover.
Yeah,
he's legit. I forgot about Burden. He's the man.
I wish he was a little bigger, 6 foot, 206, but you nailed it. What I saw on tape was I like how he'd catch it and his yards after the catch because he's just so quick and fluid and shifty. I see legit. This is the guy I think that could be most like Brian Thomas Jr. from last year, where he just exceeds his draft potential. 4.41 speed. I wish it was a little quicker, but that's pretty freaking fast. He had 5 consecutive 100-yard games. Drop in production last year, that was a little worrisome. But
here's the thing on that. Brady Cook was banged up, their quarterback, and they were going back up, so it's hard to get it to him, I believe. Plus, they had a lesser team. They took a step back, so it could have been that. But their quarterback was hurt a lot. Banged up, Brady Cook.
That stuff matters. It does. Yeah. And I've heard about the diva reputation. People thought he gived up in that Alabama loss. That does scare me a little. But and maybe he can't be a serious deep threat, but he looks like he could be a number one. Right. I like him right behind Matthew Golden. I just don't think Golden's going to be there for us. So that'd be my pick because there's more depth at edge rusher. I think we can hit that in the second and third rounds and really address our issue there.
So you want a wide out? That would be you'd be happy, like first round wide out, please, yes. Right? All right.
Please, just for once. Like I'm good with Egbuka even if they pass on Burden. I like Egbuka as well. I don't know. Did you get to see a lot of him, Ohio State?
Oh yeah, he was good. They're like so loaded, they almost get overshadow each other. Like Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
And then this year was what's the guy's name? The Ohio State number one receiver. He's a monster. Jeremiah Smith, monster.
Oh, yeah,
he's a true freshman.
Yeah, he's gonna be special.
He might be like number one receiver out, top 3 if he keeps playing, dude. Almost unstoppable.
He might be.
I know that's a lot of hype, but anyway.
he won't be quite as heralded as Marvin Harrison Jr. because his dad was a Hall of Famer. But
Yeah.
Harrison Jr. had so much hype coming out. I could see him if he does it for 2 more years being that like hyped up before the draft. Kind of like Ashton Genty is now, where he's looking like he could be, or even Travis Hunter, who if he plays receiver, he he might go number 2, dude. Like the Browns
Yeah.
legit could take him at 2.
Yeah. Here's my question on that. I hadn't. I'm gonna need to get more into it. So, do you think Travis Hunter, from your research, should be a wideout or a DB? Because I just don't see him going both ways in the league. He's gonna get hurt.
What I would do if I was a GM is
Yeah.
I would draft him as a receiver, play him most of the time, and I would occasionally mix him in as a nickel corner on third downs. I would limit a little bit of his snaps on first downs when you're going to run. I would take him out, like teams strategically do. I would limit his snaps there, so he's basically playing the same number of snaps. But I think you're going to get the best bang for your buck because he's so exceptional on both sides. Like, he may not be the best receiver and best corner, but he looks like he has the potential where he could actually be a number 1 corner or a number 1 receiver. I would strategically play him. That
Right.
I think you're going to get your best bang that way. I know it's crazy. Teams don't do it. Like the last guy we saw do this was it Dion? Like seriously?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Do you think
And
do you limit his snaps just so you won't get him hurt if he is a first round pick? Like you can't play him 100+ plays in the league. Am I right? Like pulling back a
yeah.
little, different packages. I agree with that because he's exceptional athlete, but can't play him 100 plays a game like Colorado.
Yeah, no, I would no, you can't. And I was impressed that he did that, but if you
Yeah.
play him 100 plays, you're going to shorten his career by 3 or 4 years.
I agree.
I would play him 40 to 50 snaps on offense, and I would try to mix him in for 10 to 15-ish on D. Nickel, I would be playing third down, nickel corner. You need to stop, last drive kind of situation at the end of the first half or second or at the end of the game. That's when I'd be deploying him because I think if he is as good as he's tracking, he can make some plays, and his ball skills, man, he might get a pick just by being out there. The guy, he's a. I would play him as a receiver though. I think he's better. I think that's where he wants to play. And to be honest, if he was just coming out as a receiver, I think he'd still get drafted ahead of Ted McMillan. He'd be the number 1 receiver.
Right. Very good. That's cool.
I think Cleveland, if they don't go quarterback, it's going to be Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, maybe Genty, but I don't think so. But that'd be fun. But it's either Hunter, Carter, or they're going to be thinking about Shedeur Sanders, I think.
Gotcha. I like that. Before we get into a little free agent news, sounds like that Green Bay Packer fans might need a little bit of these before picking a wide receiver. VivaTequilaSeltzer.com, 0 carb, 0 sugar. They actually got a brand new coconut flavor that's out. That sold out last year, but it should be out. Also, they are sponsored by our sponsor for Boston Bruins and NHL. Just learned that, so that's great. Doghouse 20 for 20% off. Doghouse 20. VivaTequilaSeltzer.com. Great. I think it's our third year that we've been having as a sponsor, but check them out also on Instagram, and they have their own YouTube channel, Viva Tequila.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, I'm going to talk a little free agency here.
Yeah, so the team that was shocking was the Seahawks. I don't know what they were doing. I'll get into that in a second, but my Packers made some weird moves too. They went out and signed a guard who I liked, but I felt like they could have signed him for a little less, but maybe they thought they had to go to 17 million a year for Aaron Banks. But I think they're trying to do the Eagles model. And you know this. Georgia's lived by this. You just talked about it. You have a dominant offensive line. You win in the trenches on both sides. You're very difficult to beat. The Eagles have perfected that formula. Their defensive line, they just took some hits in free agency, but their defensive line dominated in the Super Bowl, and their offensive line was the strength of that roster. That's why, as good as Saquon is, he's not rushing for 2,000 yards in New York. But he did in Philly. So the Packers went out and got a guard. They're going to slide their all-pro guard to center. We drafted a tackle last year, Jordan Morgan, I think from ASU, hoping he pans out. But it looks like our line, we got Zach Tom We got 4 pretty darn good linemen. If our left tackle spot can hold up, our offensive line could be good. And then we went out and signed cornerback Nate Hobbs from Oakland to a 4-year, $48 million deal. A little bit of an overpay, but our best corner, Jair Alexander, is constantly hurt, so he can play nickel for us or start on the outside when Alexander's out, or if we trade him on draft night, which I think is 50-50 at this point. If a great deal comes up where we could move up in the draft or land some picks to move up, I think Alexander could easily get traded in 2 weeks. So
How about my boy Eric Stokes? How's he been? Been a little banged up?
he is gone, actually.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he signed with the Raiders. He has been banged up. And you know what sucks, dude, is when he's healthy, he had 4.29 speed coming out and flash series potential. Yeah, we declined his 5th-year option. He signed a 1-year, $4 million prove-it deal with the Raiders.
Oh, that's great. That's crazy.
We swapped corners.
Wow, crazy. He's been out that long. Wow. Okay.
He missed. The problem is he didn't play last year. How many games did he play last year? Yeah, he didn't play for us last year? I don't think he did. He missed 14 games in 2023. He was hurt. He only played 3 games in 2023, and he only played 9 games in 2022, so he'd barely been playing. So, yeah, we swapped corners with the Raiders. We signed their corner, and they signed ours. Sadly. Sorry, man.
As you know, you get injured, man. Not for long, lead. So I didn't know he's banged up like that. But
first year he was great as a rookie. He had 14 passes defended and a pick. He looked awesome. 55 tackles. When he was healthy, he looked great. He just he started 23 on the pup list, and he just never came back.
Yeah, he's pretty healthy while at Georgia, but it's a tough league.
It is. Some guys like that. That's it. Your body just can't hold up.
Ooh, so bringing up the free agent tracker here.
Cool, man. Awesome. We think alike. I had the same thing up.
That's awesome. So,
yeah.
What do you? How about this? What do you think's been the best impactful? And then the second is, who do you think really overpaid? Maybe who's been one of the best pickups?
Well, I think there was. It's hard because there were so many re-signings, but the worst one was Sam Darnold, just because of the amount they paid for him. I didn't like that at all. I'm going to give you a sneaky one. I really like the Devontae Adams deal to the Rams, because I think he still has enough juice left, and they brought Stafford back. That was a pretty sweet little pickup. The Joey Bosa deal to the Bills, if he can be healthy too, it was only 12.6 mil, and the Bills need a pass rusher, so it just depends on if Bosa can get it back. There was a trade too. It wasn't a signing, but Laramie Tunsil going to the Washington Commanders. One of the best left tackles in the league. The Texans had pass protection issues, and then they flip him to Washington. It was one of the weirdest moves, man. They couldn't protect C.J. Stroud, and then they flipped their best offensive lineman over to Washington. Washington made a bunch of all-in moves. I think they had one of the best off seasons. They went and got Deebo Samuel as well. Made some moves on defense. They got Jonathan Allen. They made some good moves, but
Deebo has so much upside. It's just, can he stay healthy?
That's it. And does he have enough juice left to make one more impact year? Because when he's healthy, and you can see it when he's healthy, and he dropped off a little bit last year, but the whole 49er offense did. So when the whole team sinks, I try not to hold it against just one player when the entire offense kind of craters like the 49ers did. So I'm curious what Deebo's got left. He's only 29. Maybe he's got another year or two in him. But the Sam Darnold move, what did you think of that? Going to Seattle for that much money.
So
that's a tough
I kept thinking, I was like, all right, he looked, and I remember texting this. I was like, he looked great for 14 games or whatever. But I kept coming back to, he's going to show who he is, and he did that. But I'm like, did he do enough to get signed? Because you're like, NFL franchise quarterbacks don't grow on. It's just so hard. And then I'm thinking, like, all right, you got Daniel Jones back up, and you got McCarthy all sitting there, and I'm like, or are you going to pay this? He's almost getting journeyman, and I think the Vikings made the right move, but it's like he got market money. He had a good year and he got paid. And it kind of reminds you of Joey G, what was it? Yeah, Garoppolo, when he had that one good year with the Pats, got paid. He's bounced around, journeyman or whatever you call him now. So it kind of reminds me of that. But I mean, that's a lot of money for 3 years. I agree. And what do you do if he goes in there and they're 6-11, 2 or 3 straight years?
Well, and they lost DK
But,
Metcalf. They traded DK Metcalf for an
yeah.
aging Cooper Kupp.
And Tyler Lockett. Like, who's the number one over there now?
Jackson, he is good, Jackson Smith in the Jigba, but he's not Justin Jefferson. He was pretty awesome last year. So they've got one really good receiver, but the problem is the Vikings have one of the best coaches in the league. They have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, still Aaron Jones, who's still good. He was great last year. TJ Hawkinson, and a solid line. The Seahawks and their defense is better. The Seahawks defense isn't that great. Their running backs are, we don't know because the offensive line is so bad. And they only have one. So the support around Darnold isn't as good. I'm really worried he's going to fall on his face. I hope he doesn't because I want him to succeed. I liked what he pulled off last year, but he did really fold those last 2 games really badly. And that was with a better support system and coaching. I don't see it happen in Seattle. I think I think it's more of an organizational thing than a Sam Darnold thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to that. But here's the thing back to, all right, so JJ McCarthy's looking like the number one. To me, I know he's on a national championship team. This is being a Georgia fan. We played against him, gave him problems.
Yeah.
To me, he was more game manager, kind of mobile, didn't blow my hair back. I know he's got a good supporting cast, but to me, you need take a gamble with him because he was a high draft pick. But to me, I would have a veteran QB close. That's why I think like a Daniel Jones, if they would have re-signed him.
What about Aaron? Do you think Aaron Rodgers?
I'd stay away from that drama, man. I'd be out of the Aaron Rodgers business. Like if I'm the Steelers, I'm like, no, because that's a circus, man. That's almost like AB coming to town, and I don't want to say his name because of his things, but
no, I wouldn't.
He took a step back. It's not Aaron Rodgers. It's washed up Aaron Rodgers, being honest.
Hey,
but here's the thing: if you're the Steelers, this was crazy to me. Russell Wilson got away, and you got Justin Fields. Like, I don't really know where they're thinking. Like to me, right now, Mason Rudolph's your number one, right? Who do you think they're going to get? Like, what's the rumor?
I think they're going to sign Rodgers and Daniel Jones. By the way, he went to the Colts, so the Vikings are rolling with JJ McCarthy. And shoot, did they sign a vet? I thought they signed. Was it Keith Keenum?
I mean, he's a journeyman. I just think like maybe Daniel Jones with that supporting class. I'm not to play stardom, but he would have been like a decent backup. Like, all right, it's not the end of the world. If and he's coming off an injury, he blows his knee out. Like, taking a whole year off. You got unproven top 10 pick. Like, this is a gamble. I know you got a lot of weapons around him, but to me,
it is. They must really believe in him because I heard good stuff about him last year. I think the Steelers go.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think they've already got an agreement in place with Aaron Rodgers. If they just haven't, they're just waiting for the time to break it. Because why else would he? I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, so maybe he's trying to lure the Vikings into changing their mind to go after him because that's where he wants to go. But why else would he work out with DK Metcalf? So it's either to try to push the Vikings to offering him a deal, or he's just being Aaron Rodgers and a mess. And I'm happy he doesn't play for my team anymore because I'm so over the diva crap. He just needs to retire, man. People tell me his stats were great last year. The NFL is not just raw stats. They were a worse team with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback than they were with Zach Wilson.
Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. And the running back, Bryce Hall, like on paper, they were loaded, and they were whatever their record was.
5-12. They were awful. It was such a mess. They are. Oh gosh, I feel bad for the Jets. Good for them for landing Justin Fields, though. I think that was a slick pickup. See what he's got. They signed him to a 2-year deal. Wasn't a huge amount of money. The Steelers.
Garrett Wilson has frustrated me so bad in fantasy. I reached on him like Aaron Rodgers is going to throw it to him 10 times a game, but like there would be like one catch for 10 yards, and then he'd kill it one game. Just so I was like, come on. And then when they
Rollercoaster.
when they signed Devontae Adams, I was like, damn, because I thought Garrett Wilson going to get 100+ catches. But anyway, that's
And it
fantasy
was
for you.
no, I play a lot of fantasy too. It was Alan Lazard who was killing it until they got Devontae Adams, and then you got like one or two good Garrett Wilson games, and Devontae Adams kind of killed it for the Jets. And then they were like, "Deuces, we don't want a good receiver because you're buddies with Aaron Rodgers." The Jets organization, man, they are a dumpster fire. I feel bad for Jets
terrible.
fans. That
Yeah.
owner sucks. Seriously,
Yeah.
for real, man.
So, real quick, how about what do you think the best re-signing or signing QB was if you had to pick? Like, all right, that was a good move, or was there any?
Well,
They're all head scratchers.
no, I like the Bills re-signed Josh Allen to a 6-year, $330 million deal. And I know
Got
he
to.
hasn't I know he hasn't beat Mahomes, but to be honest, he was better than Mahomes last year. He just didn't have the he had a good running game, but the defense wasn't amazing, and his receivers, Shakir was okay, but he didn't
He
really
doesn't have.
have.
They need a true number one. That's what they need. You put a number one with
I
him,
agree. Oh my
and then
god.
I thought Cooper was such a good pickup. Do you think there wasn't chemistry there? What do you think would happen with Amari Cooper? He kind of disappeared, or is he
That
old?
was
He's got a little washed up.
that's what I'm suspecting because let me rephrase that. That's what I'm wondering because
Yeah.
the year before he had almost 1,300 yards with the Browns. Just the year before, he's only 30. He's going to be 31, but that's like I thought it was a chemistry thing, which is weird with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like heck, I wouldn't be that upset the Packers took a flyer. What if he still has juice? Because
Yeah.
he did the year before with Cleveland. And usually the cliff can be fast in the NFL, but I was thinking it was more of a chemistry thing because he came in midseason and it
Yeah.
seemed like they like to lean down the run game and the quick passing. So I'm kind of leaning towards chemistry, but he still hasn't signed with anybody, so it's a big indictment on him that he
Yeah.
could make it work with Josh Allen. So yeah, I'm curious on that one too.
Yeah.
The re-signing thing, yeah, I would go Josh Allen. What other quarterbacks? I like the Justin Fields pickup for the Jets. Like I said, 2 years for 40 is such a low amount. What if he was an amazing pocket passer, but he started to show some strides and he's mobile as heck? What if they're actually better with him this year than they were with Rodgers? That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
He's
I
got
always
talent
like
around him.
he is a Georgia kid. I always kind of liked him. I know he left Georgia. I was a little salty because Jake Fromm. That's a whole other episode.
Yeah.
But he did well at Ohio State. Seems like a good kid. I think he said some things when he was at Chicago. Maybe not happy there. Could be been the culture.
Oh,
But
I don't think he was. The Bears are like the
yeah.
Jets. They're such a mess.
So
So
did Russ? They overpay for Russ? Washed up. He's just not the same since Seattle, of course. But what do you think, Russell
no,
Wilson?
I was surprised the Giants took a flyer on him.
Yeah.
Like, what do they? I don't. And after signing Jameis Winston, I would have just kept Winston. To me, seriously, like if I was the Steelers and I had to pick between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, I don't know why you wouldn't just start Fields. I wouldn't. Russell Wilson, frankly, I think I would rather sign Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Yeah.
Russ does ruffles feathers and isn't even as good right now as Aaron Rodgers. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't even touch him, man. He was terrible last year. He had like one good game. All he
Yeah.
can do is chuck it deep. He can't complete passes over the middle anymore because he can't. He relied on his mobility because he's a shorter quarterback and he doesn't have that mobility anymore. So it's like Aaron Rodgers actually. He was his mobility was a big part of his game and it's gone now. I wouldn't touch either of them honestly. I would just draft a kid. I would just give me any quarterback in this draft, as weak as it is. I would do that over sign either of those guys.
Awesome. Yep. Appreciate it. Hey, appreciate you definitely coming on, Isaac.
Yeah, man.
Fun talk, fun football podcast. How do we follow you on all the content on social media?
So when I go
Yeah.
live on Fridays and Mondays, not this Friday, it's my birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Thanks, man. But when I go live, I'm live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Yeah, please go subscribe.
Hey, make sure to subscribe, man. 748. He's creeping up to the 1,000 where you get monetized.
Yeah. Yes. I
There
want
you
to
go.
hit it this year. That's my goal. But I have a
There you
goal
go.
of 750 by my birthday. That would be sweet. Please go subscribe. I
man.
threw a video up last night. I do videos almost every day on there. But you can also, it's on the top. You can find me on Twitter. I'm getting close to 10K there. That'd be great. But I do
Here
a
we
lot
go
of
right
work
here.
on.
Twitter. We got
Yeah.
9,382. Follow him on there. Get 10,000.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Seriously, you're the first
And we got
show.
Instagram right here.
Yes.
You're on Instagram.
Yes, I am. That's been a lot of fun. I'm also on TikTok and Facebook as well.
Awesome, man.
Thank you,
Follow
dude.
him
I
on all
appreciate that
those.
a lot. You were the
Eh,
first show I've ever been on that is shown that during the show.
Always try to do
And
that. Give him a shout.
that is super cool of you, man. I appreciate you.
Also, what I else do is it'll be in the description, all your stuff in the description. So check it out. I try to put everybody's in there. Follow Fun Football Podcast at the bottom. Yeah, there we go.
I had a lot of fun, and if you're
Yeah, man.
game in the future, I would love to bring you on my show.
I'm always up for collabs. Like, yeah, anytime. Late night, we'll get together. Sure.
My buddy is a big college guy. I'd like to
Okay.
bring you on my Monday show in the future.
Yeah.
Probably this fall. He would love having you on. He loves talking college. So
Yeah, man. I'm down. Die-hard Georgia fan. The only
he
thing
lives
with
in
the
South
Georgia this
Carolina.
year, yeah, G-Day is you only can watch it in person. I don't know why, so I'm not going to be able to make the game. You can't even watch it on YouTube, any stream anyway. I do think you can listen to it on the Georgia Sports Radio. But anyway, I'm going to try to find that this weekend, but you got to be in Athens. I'm not able to make it. But anyway, it sucks, the whole change of college football. Anyway.
Yeah, that does suck. I heard you talking about that on your. I was watching your stuff before this, your shorts, and I heard you talking about
Yeah,
it.
thanks,
So,
man.
yeah.
Well, yeah, man, appreciate it. And if you're still around, hey, definitely like, subscribe, Fun Football Podcast with Izac. He's doing great things. And also, if you're still around, like, subscribe, share the Doghouse Podcast. We'll have some great content coming up. Also, we'll be looking at some draft stuff coming up for sure.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it. Go subscribe to Doghouse.
Yeah, man. Thanks, buddy.